Good.
It is good.
Awesome.
Right. Welcome to the No Rep podcast. Unfortunately, I'm back again with these other two clowns, Evan and Danny. But today we're just gonna chat.
Yeah.
We're chatting a wee bit there before we started, just about random things, TikTok, conspiracies, tinfoil hats. Lots and lots of things, so we'll just get stuck in. But what I wanted to do was start on one thing before we kind of dive into conspiracies and whatnot, was like other fitness influencers and our thoughts on them, whether they be good, whether they be bad, whether they be somewhere in the middle, Switzerland vibes.
There's a lot of Switzerland, isn't there? There's always a lot of Switzerland.
We seem to find ourselves in the middle with a lot of things that we talk about, so let's try and get some like maybe unpopular opinions out there that maybe go against the status quo. So what are some fitness influencers that come to mind, Evan, that you would say are in the limelight just now, whether it be for good or bad reasons?
Straight off the bat, Liver King.
Liver King here.
He's like a parody. Like, it's bad. But he's just, do you know, I get the whole, he's trying to live a kind of caveman lifestyle and all that. Like, this is what my ancestors would do.
Yeah.
And I'd go out and I'd kill a goat and then drink its piss. And,
he drags his missus a mile every morning. Have you seen that? He drags his missus a mile.
Fuck, I went on his Instagram last night actually, just for like a wee wander through, and man's out there drinking pints of blood and he's doing X, Y, and Z. And I get what he's doing, because at the end of the day, that gets clicks and views, doesn't it?
Oh,
like
100%.
if he was to just sit in a chair and go, hey guys, it's Liver King here, Liver is king, see you later, and then it had nothing else to say, like, you're not going to watch that, but you are going to watch someone drink a pint of goat's blood and eat a raw beef brain, because you're like, that, what the fuck? It's so out there and outlandish that you're automatically drawn to it. So
he's in New York now. he's getting on and off the subway with chains and like
of course, why would they not
two small men in like each hand, and he's like walking onto the train.
See, that's
for real.
Were you one of those?
I don't know what he's got his hand, but there's no.
Did you just lie?
But like he's doing it because why else would they do that? Because it's going to get views,
it's to sell supplements.
So
his supplements. If he was to want to say, I can't actually sell you, and I think someone said this, I don't know who, I was like, I can't sell you the steroid stack that I'm on, so they don't sell you my liver.
Well, this
liver
is the
supplements.
Thing, right? Do you think back in the day, our ancestors who are like killing each other with rocks and hunting lions and all that, were injecting themselves with exogenous hormones? Good word.
Good word alert. Exogenous
hormones.
Jordan used all his brain power for the day there.
I need a nap after that. And like, do you think it's not very ancestral, it's not very tribal of them to fucking sit there with Trembolone and testosterone and D-ball and all
also the very tribal of them to sit in his private jet while he goes and travels around places.
Is it a private jet?
Is it a private jet? He's minty.
It's man's flexing.
Do you know what I mean? And he's sitting his top off and he's like
on his jet with goat brain.
Madness. I did see there's a video.
Hey tribals, Liver King here.
Because liver is king. I mean, I get what he's trying to, like, because I understand that, like, behind everything, there's obviously majority of the time would eat meat, as in we eat like the muscles from animals. Like you would have like the fillet steak, you'd have this, you'd have whatever. So it may be lacking in some vitamins and minerals.
And black pudding's so good.
And you may be lacking in some of all these things that maybe some animal organs do obtain. But how much, like, for you to completely switch your diet and start eating brains and start eating liver and start eating kidneys, like what benefit is that actually giving you? Now I don't
just buy
know.
Supplement. That's what
well, true. Yeah,
that's why he's doing it. You see, at the end of the day, he's got that on the table. You've never seen him eat it.
No, you have. I have.
Like all of it.
Mate,
does?
Yeah.
Every single bit of it.
Literally tuck into a chicken testicle.
No, I'm talking about when he puts the full slab out and he's got like 6 ounces of this, 8 ounces of this, 12 ounces of this, 13 ounces of this,
Danny,
brain marrow and this. Does he sit and eat it all?
Danny,
literally,
there you go. I am
sucks a brain marrow
corrected.
Or a bone marrow even.
There's one here, right? So it's when he was in Africa, right? And I'll talk you through the video as I'm watching it.
He's a really nice guy, right? This is just... But this is a front.
This is us not saying that he's bad.
This is a complete front.
Aye.
He's not like this. This is an act,
It
right?
might
He's
be.
going to, I doubt it. He's going to come out one day and you'll like, or he'll be on a talk show or something. You'll be like,
Yeah, it's kidding
Just an
on.
act.
I don't actually like liver.
no, I've never ate it. I'm a
Liver's
vegan.
bad.
I'm a vegan. Like,
I don't know if it's I don't know how much of it is a front. There's definitely an element of it as a front. There's like he's probably playing
he's
some sort of
overacting
character.
probably, but he probably still does the stuff. But, he's
But
probably
see, to be
overacting
quite
it.
honest though, like our people's personas on social media we all not kind of playing characters.
In a way.
You try to be as authentic as possible.
Yeah.
But see if you have got that kind of business opportunity or whatever, you're like, do you know what? I could get get licks, get likes, get
likes.
clicks.
If that's what you're, that is what,
That's
is
like
what you're
coughing.
like.
Get like that's the coffee.
Coffee all
My
over
brain,
again.
brain bad again. But that's kind of what they want to do because it's more exposure. And then if you do have something to punt, then fucking. That's just how it works. Business.
I mean,
it's all business.
It is
He
how
has
it
got a
works.
private jet, so whatever he's doing,
Wait, is it his jet?
Is it called the brain plane?
I mean, he's getting the money. He's getting the money to fly private. So
That's
I mean,
mad.
He's still, if it's his or no, then
It's madness. And
it
it's
could be a
weird.
sponsor. That's thing.
What's that?
It could be like a sponsor. Or
It
something.
could be. I know it's obviously like you said, that is a front and whatnot, but is it working?
100%.
It's working for him.
yep,
You know, man's cashing in, but I do feel there's an element of it that's just that's too unauthentic. Like he's promoting these supplements that's saying that this is the way you need to live, this is how you need to train, this is how you need to
to
do
look
it,
like him.
to look like him. But he is clearly full of hormones, and it's misleading. It's misleading. in,
Oozing out of him.
so many different ways. It's
Because
just
so many people buy into it. Like you know what it was like to start the fitness industry, man. You bought into everything. Cali Muscle Hyphae mud, like. Do you remember that?
the instant coffee,
Instant coffee and
Coke,
Pepsi or Coke. And
Pepsi.
you're like, me and my cousin Brian used to take
Yeah.
what's this? The gym.
So
Like,
it was Cali Muscle. Do you remember this guy?
Uh-huh,
It was the
yeah,
guy that was in jail and all that, and fucking jacked out his tits. And he was saying, so did they have it? It was like a pre-workout he made.
pre-workout.
So it was like a prison pre-workout because
course.
obviously they don't have fucking C4 or Jack 3D in prison. I mean, they can get they can get heroin in prison, so I don't know how they kind of get some pre-workout
Jack
in there.
3D.
But anyway, they would use instant coffee, like 6 scoops of it, and Pepsi, like full fat Pepsi, and fucking mix it all up and
Full
drink
fat.
it. And they called it.
Oh,
We could do that for an
mud.
episode.
Let's right.
Let's not do that.
Yeah,
So I used to,
fuck
me and my cousin used to literally, that was the kind of, we'd be into like Cali Muscle and all that, and Mike Rashid, all these people, and we'd go to the gym.
Is that how you just got so big?
Over that. That's how I get so big. And right, this is, you talked about X,
Uh-huh.
right?
Oh, here we go.
I
Fuck.
only have probably one ick that I can think of, and
Uh-huh.
I only think of it when somebody says it. Can we just ban calling anything, any drink, any carbonated drink, full fat, please? Can that
You just
stop?
said it. You just
I
said
just
it.
Exactly.
I just said that.
That's what I'm saying, right? Because
It's my mum's fault.
right,
You know what I mean?
it's
It stems from
without a question,
generations.
without, I like my granny used to be like that. My nanny used to be like, okay, I am brew, like, do you want a full fat one or do you want a thing one? I remember like you're younger and you're like the full fat one, and then obviously you become a coach and you go, never been fat in these ever. There's
Yeah.
no fat. It's just no sugar. That's it. Like
know,
but
but-
people say it all
But
the time.
it rolls off the tongue though, doesn't it? Like what else you call it? Can I have the
Diet.
one full of sugar?
You have the higher sugar option.
Diet.
Can I have the higher sugar, like Pepsi? No, you would just say,
no.
can I get the full fat
I
one?
wouldn't. Regular or diet?
I would say normal. Can I get the normal one?
Normal. I've never.
But the thing
honestly
is,
said
I
it.
drink the Pepsi Max or Coke Zero so frequently. To me, that's normal. That's the normal one.
Aye, same.
To me,
I suppose.
Pep,
Do you know what I
shout
mean?
out Pepsi Max Cherry. Oh,
aye, that is a goal.
Banging.
That is a goal.
He's nodding. He's like,
He's
yeah,
nodding.
he's up. Oh, yeah.
Producer nodding. Producer approval over there.
Right.
He's
Just
like,
last little thing on Liver King. You know,
Right,
you know
okay,
how
aye.
you know how he's always like, saying like, oh, this is how the ancestors done it, and all this.
how does it?
Is it not quite hypocritical and stuff that he's like, living in his big modern house and
Well,
all these
supposedly
things?
sleep-
And if living
sleeps
that
on the floor.
ancestral way was so great and important, he would just live outside.
he sleeps on pallets, doesn't he?
I think
He
it's
sleeps on
Wooden pallets.
Sleeps on wooden pallets.
Wooden pallets.
Bottom of Burniston.
Fuck's sake.
But no, I do get that. There's an element of like, yeah, if you are going to go down the route of like, right, you need to do what your ancestors did in order to live like a
You need to go
better
balls
life.
deep with it.
Like but how deep do you need to go?
exactly.
Do you need to go balls deep on it, or do you just need to be like take some of the principles that
I think
they
so.
did
Instead
back
of sleeping
then?
on the floor when you've got a perfectly good mattress there.
I
like, come
know,
on.
I know.
Do you remember
Come
you
on.
used to sleep on the floor?
Aye, I remember this.
A choice or what?
No, I mean, the Liver King. Like,
Because that's what his ancestors done.
remember I said about the pen pal I had that time? It was Liver King. Whoa, wait, should we start sleeping on the floor?
Wait a minute. Run us back a second. Why are you sleeping on the floor?
Because remember, I don't know if
we've covered it.
the back injury. I think I very vaguely,
very quickly covered
it.
Go.
So basically,
quick recap.
So when I was younger, I was 21, back injury, on and off until I was like 29,
because he didn't eat his liver.
Right? Because I didn't eat liver and I didn't sleep on the floor. No, so bad injury, got to a point where it was about a year off training, proper training, like it was literally just what I could do sort of thing. And it was getting to the point it was really bad. So I was starting to get in a wee bit of a kind of depressed state because of it. So I would try anything at all. And I just started to kind of sleep on the floor. I was like, right, it must be that. It must be mattresses. So I slept on the floor for about 7 months, 8 months, but that actually caused more problems. And it was just...
What the fuck is wrong with you? Mate, so...
Because see, when you're at that desperate point when you've had MRIs, you can't get it fixed.
Who told you like sleeping on the floor might help you back?
It's research, man. Just research and shit. But anybody that's got a sore back, the floor doesn't make it any better. An expensive mattress that is relatively firm and holds your body shape
you need straight bone marrow out of the...
stick it out the tube, out the femur.
Out the femur.
Out the femur. Now, so the thing is getting me with this, Danny, right? The thing is getting me
so uncomfortable.
It took you 7 months to then think, it still isn't.
My back's so
I say 7 months, it might have been 7 years.
That's what's getting me, man.
I don't know how long it was, but it was for a period of time.
Aye.
That was wild.
I had girlfriends at the time, and I'd be on the floor.
On the bed, he's on the floor.
I mean, I'd be in the bed for a wee minute, half a second, and then I'd be back.
For 35 seconds.
I done it twice.
But honestly, then you'd go back and sleep on the floor.
Aye.
That's
Fucking mental, man.
It was really bad because see, when you're at that desperate point, you'd fucking try it, man.
This is absolutely true.
Like, you know how much I love training, man, and I have done for the longest time. So, see, when you physically can't train how you want to train,
you're gonna be desperate, and you're gonna be desperate.
So that's what I was like.
See, the thing is, it was like kind of looking back on that, man. It was debilitating for you. Like you would just be walking about the gym, and then you would just see him go.
Really?
That was what was awful, man.
I couldn't do it. It was really bad.
Has it come up now? Has it flared up now? No, you're good.
Very good. And I get you. It was
what ended up helping?
Do you know? I honestly believe like it was 3 things because it was different types of back pain I'd get. I'd have the constant back pain, and I'd have the literally hit the deck, cannot move back pain. So I'd had all these different types. Bloating, like through just poor digestive health in general, high inflammation, and all the rest of it was probably causing the constant back pain. Because it was so much bloating, internal bloat that...
Really? What was causing the bloating? Just like diet?
Poor digestive health. I had poor digestive health when I was younger, and it kind of when I was older, then it...
What are you laughing at?
Tell them.
What's even laughing at? What is it? What? Oh, is there a poop story about to come up? It's fucking poop story alert. Fucking let's go. We've all got poop stories, right? Danny, let's fucking hear it.
I'll tell you mine. I see when I was a wee guy, I used to...
That's where this is really going. Fucking poop stories. How many minutes into this?
I just caught his eye and he knew what I was thinking. When I was a wee boy, so when I was 21, and I used to only poo behind the couch. Like, but in my potty, right? But I'd take it behind the couch, and that's where I would go.
What? Right, hold on. You had to say the potty bit a bit quicker there, because I'm thinking you're like 14 years old, shitting behind your couch.
21, right? And no, I was like a baby just getting potty trained. But I used to go behind the couch and hide.
Oh my god. That's right. I feel like that's not as bad.
It's not as bad
as I'm about to hear from Danny.
Shall I tell you that?
Yeah, you might.
So, like any normal 25-year-old, right, used to hold on my poos. Well, I don't know when it started, right, but I used to hold on my poos. I think that's a thing that young kids do, right?
What do you mean? Like,
I don't know.
Just because like you didn't have because
you didn't have access. I would tell you why
because you didn't have access to a toilet, or you were just
I don't know, maybe I'd done a jobby once and hit my bum, and then like I had to. I don't know. I was a wee guy. I don't remember why I done it. Right?
You said 21.
Hey, that's
I was kidding.
All right.
So I was 25. No, I was a wee guy. I don't know, right? So anyway, I don't even know what age I was at this point, but my bowel blocked, and I get rushed to the hospital, right? And then, so I have no doubt the digestive problem, all the shit probably started then.
Oh, the shit.
Aye.
Literally.
No pun intended.
Right, so fast forward, I had digestive problems all the time. So my digestion was just really bad, man. So I had bloating all the time, heartburn, acid reflux, all the rest of it. So I think that one of the back things was because of that. I can get in another episode of the podcast, I'll go into why I was bloated and that, and I can get into the details because I think it would help a lot of people who suffer from bloating, acid reflux, discomfort eating, like bloating after meals, all the rest of it, right? I know a lot about it. So anyway, I had that. That was definitely one of the reasons. The other one was, without a doubt, like like hamstrings, IT bands and stuff like that, like glutes weren't functioning properly, just pure, like, that way they're short but weak. So see, when I addressed that, and I used to stretch all the time, and it used to make things worse. So see, when I stretched, like anybody would say to do to make your back better and all the rest of it, I'd get worse. And it didn't make any sense.
Yes.
So see, when I started creating length and strength, it was like game changer, do you know what I mean? So that was definitely the second one that I think probably, so it's like a mixture of that and also mattress as well, I reckon. Because I've got quite broad shoulders in comparison to like my, like everything else is just like
an upside down
12-year-old
traffic cone.
adult, right?
You were pointing down like hip region there.
Right,
12-year-old.
so, adult, 12-year-old, adult. Kindergarten, 12-year-old adult. Right,
Wait,
so,
I feel like we skipped past the poop story a little bit.
No,
Did
that
we?
was it.
Was that it?
I
Just to hold in your
it,
shit.
and then it, my
You get
bowel
rushed to
blocked.
hospital.
And then
Rushed to the
you get rushed to hospital.
Cleared.
That's what I wanted to find
Do you
out
want to find out
about.
how that happened?
Aye, what did he do? Did he
Laxatives up the bum.
Aye, a wee suppository.
Aye.
Wow.
And then I remember
You giving it all, yeah?
so remember, bear in mind, I can remember that bit, and then that's kind of vague after that. My
You
dad,
blacked out after
Aye.
that.
vague after that bit, and that's kind of like that. So then, so that I reckon like bad mattress is definitely
Right.
one as well, man. Like, because if you just sleep in the same mattress for ages and a cheap mattress, like it's not an expensive one that actually holds your frame and your shape. It's going to create problems because you're sleeping in that position for 8, 9, 10 hours. So I reckon I've addressed all three, and like all the different back issues and pains that I used to get just don't occur, don't happen.
What you mentioned there about people who have back pain or have any other injuries and stuff like that, stretching seems to be the port of call. You're still smiling about the poop stories, man.
Yeah.
Like stretching and like yoga and all these things seem to be just like a kind of blanket like recovery protocol. Like, here, do this. But whereas the most common issue that I've found is people don't have enough strength in those areas, like you
I
said.
agree completely.
And that is a very, very good point you've mentioned there. So even though we have spoke a lot of shit for 15, 20 minutes,
Yep.
a little bit of value in there is that if people do have injuries or
Yep.
are struggling with tight backs or knees,
Yep.
there's potentially a weakness somewhere that's
I
causing
would
those
say
deficiencies.
100% of the
Stretching's
time.
not
Like,
always the answer.
Nah,
man.
it's not.
You can be too flaccid. Is that the word I want to use?
Aye.
Right, too bendy, too
Too many puns, man.
too loose. Right.
a lot of guys that
You-
yeah.
the thing is, you need to have a mixture of being flexible, have kind of structural integrity and stuff of the joint, the structures, and obviously strength.
I just call it long and strong.
Yeah.
Long and
Like, is
strong,
that
baby.
call it?
that long and strong? That's what they'll call it. That's what they call it. South side.
Unreal,
On
unreal.
the south side of
Right,
Ireland. Right, so aye.
Other fitness influencers.
Moving on.
Moving on.
hilarious.
That was funny as fuck. Other fitness influencers. Another one that comes to mind is a very, very popular one, whether he be polarizing or not, is James Smith. James Smith's a major name, probably
Yeah.
like the GOAT of online training at the moment,
Yeah.
especially maybe in the UK and Australia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of his.
Yes.
I am. I'm a big fan of
we all
his.
are.
He cuts the bullshit. He cuts the crap. He says it as it is. And when he has a thought or an emotion or passion about something, he gets his message across very, very well. And, you know, a lot of PTs these days, it's all about copy and how they can write and put their message across. Whereas for him, video is a lot more captivating. Like, and maybe like for me and for all of us, we probably don't do enough videos. You're doing a lot more of them now,
Yeah.
Danny, which is probably gaining a little bit of traction. But like for us, maybe doing copy, the next level up to that is like his videos, and they are very well done. But you can see he's put the reps in from like when he used to be a PT back in 2015, 16
I
or whatever.
actually remember his first, well, maybe not his first videos and stuff, but it used to just be him with a whiteboard behind
Yeah.
him, and that was it. So it was obviously
Yeah.
in his spare room or in the office or whatever. He just done it every single day.
right.
New
Yeah.
video, new
Aye.
video, new video, new video.
Absolutely.
Now that's changed. Now he's got a good setup, good camera. and all that sort of stuff. But he was the in for a lot of us.
Well, I remember back in the day, I started copying like what he was doing away back in 2018. I put the whiteboard and all that, and it was just because it was like, this is really good.
Can I jump in? Right. Do you think that copying is bad in this? Like, do you know what I'm trying to say about
As
that?
long as you're not copying,
Yes,
as long as you're
yes and
influenced
no.
in a positive way.
Yes and no, because let's face it, right? There's only so much information out there when it comes to how to bench press, calorie deficit, X, Y, and Z. Once the information's out there and the information's correct, they're like it's there. We all know calorie deficit creates weight loss. We all know that progressive overload helps with strength and building muscle and all those sorts of things, right? So maybe not. We don't all know that, but as coaches, we all do. So in a way, a lot of us have the same message. However, how you put that message across matters, because if you're just copying and pasting someone's caption, you're a wrong'un.
Bad.
You're a mile out. Like, it's not, you can't be doing that. You can't be doing that. I've had a case where someone copied something. I sent it to some of the boys.
Shout out.
And the name is no, I'm not going to say it.
On the subject. So, like, this is the thing with James Smith. But people dislike him. I like the guy. Used to like him, but like anyone, he has opinions that aren't always fact and true.
Yes.
So we need to remember this. Just because he's such a big name doesn't mean that every opinion he's got is a fact. Do you know what I mean?
It's funny because see when folk have a big following, it is almost like what they say is gospel.
Yes.
And that's not just fitness. That's like
it's just across the board in general, isn't it?
anything.
How do you-
He's got 1 million followers. Yes.
Yeah.
This man's telling me to eat brain.
Yeah.
I'll eat brain.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. And with regards to James Smith, like, there's a lot of things that he puts out there that I 100% agree with. I've been to his talks. I've got both his books. I consume his content. I listen to his podcast. I think what he does is great.
He got me into Lululemon.
Yeah, like what he says is great. But there is a couple of things that he'll say that are off the mark. Like, he's mentioned something before about investing that I don't align with in what he says. So I get his message, and some of it I don't agree with. Another one was that we spoke about before is the fact that on a podcast he did with Stephen Bartlett. Shout out Stephen Bartlett. Great podcast. His podcast is almost as big as ours.
Almost. We are the number one podcast
in the world.
In the world.
I think it was in the world, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's in the world.
In my world.
Yeah, it's definitely the world.
So because the podcast is the number one podcast in the world, his is obviously somewhere
second or something.
Also, yeah, lower. But so James Smith was on a podcast with Stephen Bartlett, and it was a really, really great episode. But they mentioned one thing, and there was a bit of a soundbite about it as well, and that was related to PT and how if you have a client on board with you that's with you longer than 6 months, then you've not done your job right. Now, I've got my thoughts on that, but what's your thoughts on that?
I said this, and it's like I brought this up, and I was like, it's like jiu-jitsu, right? And I know James Smith does jiu-jitsu, so it's like the same. Like, if you is like, just because he's not learnt everything, like, should he have learnt everything in that 6 months, and then that's him no longer part of a team, no longer training for jiu-jitsu? No. I think when it comes to anything, like, and he would probably agree. Like, and it's like, just because, like, people's journeys are different, right? Someone might by 6 months be completely like, they've reached their goal and they've took things in very quick, and there wasn't a lot to do. Like, they maybe didn't like, but you know yourself, you can have someone that's got a lot more work to put in. They've got a lot more to learn. They've got a bigger journey ahead of them. They need the accountability. They need the support. Like, they love being part of a team. They love that drives them to keep going and keep doing more. So to say that everyone, like, that should be it after 6 months, 6 months is not a long time, man.
No.
I've got two.
Not a long time.
Can I jump? I've got kind of 2 points on that.
Yeah.
This is quite a loose rule, and I can't remember where it comes from, but it is a thing. So the 10,000 hour rule.
Yes.
So it takes about 10,000 hours to become completely autonomous and
master
become a master of skill or whatever. And you need to kind of put the reps in. 6 months could be enough time to completely transform your body, change your habits, do whatever. But things are still going to come up after that. There's still going to be fires that need to get put out. There's still going to be various other bits and bobs happening in your life, and you'll need somebody to kind of strategize that for you, because as people, we believe our own bullshit. We believe
100%.
We let ourselves off. Like, and my second point with that is 6 months might be, 6 months might be okay for some people working with some coaches, and I'll elaborate. I don't mean that saying that I'm better than anyone or anyone else is better than anyone, but some programs and stuff literally are only training and nutrition. There's no lifestyle bits, there's no trainings, there's no these other bits and bobs. So literally in 6 months, you might get everything you need from one trainer, from one program and stuff, because it's completely different to other ones that are out there that are actually impacting different facets of your life. Facets.
And on that subject as well, remember, there's different phases to this, right? Yeah. So when someone's goals, weight loss, fat loss, right? And it's like, okay, map that out. That's not going to just take 6 months for everybody to achieve their desired outcome. But then after that, okay, now I want to build, now I want to develop this, I want to develop that. What's just say no? No, sorry, that's 6 months. I can't teach you any of that.
I think,
do you know what I mean? So I think he's flung it out there, but
it's a very, very blanket statement to just kind of put over every PT and every coach that if you have a client that's with you longer than 6 months, you're not doing your job. I think that was, in fact, I tell you what, let me play.
I think if you're letting people go at that point,
I'm gonna find the quote, right? If it was on thingy, but basically, my thought is that, like you said, we're all at different levels, and you've said this in a previous episode, is that information is not the problem, right? So if you've gave someone all the information to, how to learn how to lift, how to eat, sleep, all the rest of it, you've gave them the kind of the information they need, basically a PT qualification. You've gave them enough information that they know what to do, go off and go do it. 9 times out of 10, that's not what people's problem is. I work with pretty much everyone I work with knows what they're doing in the gym, knows how to eat. Those are the type of people that I work with. But it's like, what next? I've been lifting weights since I was 14, right? I started going to the gym, right? And I feel now I'm still only scratching. Yeah, man. Fucking, can you not tell, bro?
Bruv.
See that? See that? It's a 100 kilo bench. Plus, mate. Plus. But I've been lifting weights for a long time. What's that?
Who, the person that's spotting you with their biceps?
13 years or something like that, right? Quick maths. I've been involved in the gym, right? Yeah. Whether it be I was doing the right thing or the wrong thing, I've been involved in it. And I've been involved in this space now for a number of years working here. And I still feel like I'm only scratching the surface of what is next or what is out there or how to be better or how to improve.
Yeah.
And it's similar to the analogy you used with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu about how if I've done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I did it for about 1.5 years, 2 years, and I have a fair grasp on the fundamentals. I'm by no means good at it or anything like that, but I know submissions, I know what they are. I'm a fan of the sport. So I know what I know what I'm doing. I know what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is. I know what a triangle choke is, an armbar, all the rest of it. However, if you put me on the mat with a white belt who is training frequently or a blue belt, I'll get my ass kicked, right? I'll get fucking strangled or my arm ripped off, right? Because there's levels to it, right? There's levels to jiu-jitsu the same way that there's levels to training, there's levels to nutrition, there's levels to how to elevate you to the next level. And I think that there's no finish line with this, right? There's no like top of the mountain when it comes to fitness, your own fitness. It's more just like there's constant stepping stones and you're constantly just making your way up. There's no finish line. Right, it's more so like the process of it. So if people come on board because they're members of communities, like you said, Danny, people come on board because accountability is what they need. Like that's what I need, right? I have a coach because
I was going to say all 3 of us in the last year have had coaches or still have.
That's it. I'm going to try and find the quote so people know what we're talking about, right? Talk amongst yourselves.
But see, the thing is that people, when they reach out or they join a program, they come for the result, but they stay for the value. So if you're, well, that's good soundbite that.
Yeah, man, that was good. That come for the result, stay for the value.
But that's the thing, because they think coming into the program, right, I want to change my body. It might be a superficial reason, it might be for whatever, right? But if you're constantly giving that person value through various metrics, through various other mechanisms or whatever you want to say, your weekly meetings, your monthly trainings, your fucking recipe books, all this sort of stuff. If the value's there, people will stay. It's like you don't just stop using a motor. Do you know what I mean? You see value in having a car, so you're going to continue to have a car, but even if you're paying £350 a month for it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There's value in it for you to have that.
Yeah. I've got it here, so I'll play the thing, right? I'll play it. Wait a minute.
James Smith, the world's fastest growing online personal trainer, but he's much more than that.
Like a driving instructor, I should not exist in your life in 6 months. Why is it so acceptable for people to invest money into fitness professionals and them still be there 3 years later? So if you do your job well enough, your client leaves.
I do get the message though, because the goal should be for people to become autonomous.
Ah.
Good word alert.
Good word.
Right. I've had 2 today.
Have you?
I'm
Don't
gonna
try and
start-
one up me, right?
I'm going to start tracking them.
Yeah,
I
tally
a
them.
gold star at the end of the week. And but that's people. They come to us because they can't do the thing. We teach them how to do the things. Then they can then do the things for themselves forever. Is kind of the goal, but they do stay
Absolutely.
for the value.
Absolutely. Another one as well is like, you need to remember, I've spoke on this before, but some people could be, in their 30s, late 20s, 40s, 50s, and have had these habits that have got them to this place for decades, right? They could have had the this or that list, like where they could have been, where they feel anxious or angry or depressed, they eat chocolate, they binge eat, or they drink too much, or they have all these habits. Sometimes 6 months, you don't just then attain the dream of like not having any of these issues anymore, because it takes a long time to shake just one habit. Imagine if you have 10 of those, like 10 of those kind of bad habits, and you need to get ironed out and you need to progress and work on them. Sometimes that is going to take longer than 6 months, and there might be people sitting there going, it's very good for you to say 3 PTs, just money grabbing bastards wanting people in your program for a long period of time. Then it's like, it's not really that, because there is enough people out there for everyone that need help, right?
100%.
There really, really is. But what I've found is that you've nailed it with that quote, and I'm angry that I didn't think of it myself, but people come for the result and they stay for the value. And I think that is it, and it's an ongoing process.
I've got another quote if you want.
Mate, don't whip them all at once. No, what is it?
Don't walk 15 miles into the woods and expect to get out in 10.
Right, okay.
Right, so basically, if it's taking you this amount of long years to build all these habits and various other bits and bobs, don't expect to fix it in 2 months, 3 months. It's going to take a bit of time,
Yeah.
but you put in the groundwork, you'll get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a guy I know who can get results quick. What's his name? Liver King. And if you eat liver and like bone marrow, take steroids and stuff like that, you'll get the results really, really fast.
I think in fairness to him, from the stuff that I've seen from his content, he doesn't say that you'll get results that look like him though. He just kind of says this is what you should be doing, and people just automatically assume
why is it
they
his
do.
top off? Because he's obviously a caveman. Right. That's
But do you see, the thing is as well though, so regardless of his extracurricular activities, if he is juice or no juice, right, he still puts in the work.
Oh, he's
Puts in the reps.
So this is the thing. Like,
Puts
I
in the
have
reps.
absolutely zero, and we'll talk about this on another podcast or whatever, I've got zero problem with people being on the juice.
Oh no, not at all.
Not at all.
Doesn't bother me
Because
whatsoever.
they put in the work. They do the things
Yeah.
religiously.
Yeah.
So
Probably even more so than people that
Yeah.
arguably aren't on it, because they're able to recover and are able to do more. And
Was
it's
it Big
the-
Arnie that said that? He's like, sort of, I think a news reporter or someone said, no, I think he just said it on a chat. He was like, people say to me like, I want to look like you. He's like, you couldn't.
No, that's why.
Like-
But it's more so the honesty and the how authentic you are behind that.
Yes.
Because you've got another fitness influencer, Michael Hearn, that we spoke about. And I'm gonna, for people who don't know who Michael Hearn is, ba-ding, if I get this edited, I probably won't. But I'm gonna pull him up on the
What
gram.
noise did it make?
Ba-ding. Michael Hearn. So here's a picture. So Michael Hearn is maybe in his 40s or 50s. He was an OG back in the bodybuilding.com days, maybe like 2010 to 2015 sort of thing. He was regarded as like the kind of pinnacle of like, and he claimed natural, like lifetime natural sort of thing. I don't follow him. I've not followed him for a long time, but he's one of the guys that kind of come to the forefront of my mind where, when it's one of the fake natties out there, one of the guys that promote their supplements, promote their products, promote their programs to look like me, but he's just to the tits, man. Look at this.
Just to the tits. Humongous.
So the man is jacked out his fucking mind, right? But he's at that. But he's natural, right? And it's just that's not authentic. He's clearly on, exogenous hormones.
Exogenous.
But
still
there's
looks-
nothing wrong with that. Just be honest, because it paints a false picture. And someone who's just starting to train, like me, I followed I had like a power building program, and I'm like, I'm going to get to the size of this guy. No one knows it yet. But that's obviously not going to happen.
Yeah.
Obviously,
It's like false advertisement. It's not false. See if he's saying,
literally
look,
is.
let me do this. It is right. it's false advertisement, right? So he's saying, do this, look at me. Like, that's when you should be honest, because if not, you are just...
Yeah, and there's not enough of that, and these fitness influencers and things like that, there's many of them out there that are, you know, full of steroids, full of hormones, but they're just not honest about it. And obviously people like us are able to know, like, obviously he is, like, it's easy for us, but somebody at the start, starting their journey, following their programs, buying their stuff, it's like, it just paints a false picture, and I just think it's the wrong message to put across. But then again, is it the right message to say, look, I am on all of this stuff, and then it maybe promotes young kids to take it?
Maybe
so it is
right. Maybe he's actually been a good guy.
maybe.
Well, that's the thing. They're obviously very smart. Like, when you look at that, you're obviously smart. You know how to train. You know what you're doing. No way two ways about
Genetics
it.
also play a point,
but be honest,
the guy works hard.
Aye, but be honest. You're not. They should be honest. The fact you're not going to look at me unless you look good. You look great, but don't look at my physique and think that's attainable without. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I've noticed? So obviously, like, a big thing, kind of what we do and what a lot of PTs in our kind of space and stuff do, is we're obviously quite big on before and afters and stuff. Maybe less so you, because you guys are all kind of strength gains and whatever, but you're kind of videos of big lifts and whatever. See the kind of like thousands of followers, got 40, 50k followers and whatever on social media. Maybe like him, I've not actually seen his page. Not a huge amount of before and afters and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's all pictures of them being jacked, selling their supplements, selling their programs and whatever, but never really a huge amount of...
So where's the proof?
Like social proof.
Yeah, social proof. I'm not saying that it doesn't get rid of, that's not what I'm saying, but it's just very much like the kind of marketing tool is them, which is fair. See, if I looked like him, I would obviously, I'd be naked all the time.
You'd be naked right now?
Yeah, I'd be naked right now.
No, I
do you get what I'm saying?
totally get what you're saying.
Do you know, I always think about that. I'm like, it is okay to be like, well, I look like this because I do this, and use that as your social proof, and I'll be into it. That's fine. Do you know what I mean?
It is social proof, because obviously you've been through. You know what it does, because that's another big thing. It's like, should your coach like be in shape, or should your coach have attained the goal that you're selling, if that makes sense? And I think yes.
I think aye. So there's two brackets. Like, either you have to have attained it, or you've got people there.
Yeah,
then trust that person.
Aye, because like, as a manager of a football team, you don't have to have won a World Cup to hopefully coach your team to win a World Cup.
But if you have, exactly. That's a good
like it, I think when it comes to fitness, I think there's like, if you're sitting there and you're like fucking got a diet of Krispy Kremes and fucking whatever else, like, and you're telling somebody to, you know, no, restrict your calories over the weekend, do this, do that, do this, do that, and you have not lived that at least once before, that in itself is almost a little bit false as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's
like, not showing you can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So also with clients and with yourself, I do think it's important for coaches. Like, that is a big talking point. It's like, should your coach be in shape, or be fit, or be strong, or be relative, whatever it is to their selling or to their sport.
Aye. Be in shape for their thing. Yeah. Or be in shape.
It doesn't mean that you need to be shredded and have abs and all that.
That's a big misconception.
Yeah, that's not what it means. It means that, like, have you done the things?
Yeah.
Have you lifted the weight? Do you know what proper technique is? Do you know, like, have you been through the races? Have you been through the what? Have you done the groundwork, really? Like, have you kind of been there?
I think, see, as long as this is the thing as well. So, like, I probably, for rugby and for whatever, I probably carry a wee bit more body fat than both of you guys. I'm quite happy.
Papa Ev.
Right? Like that, I'm quite happy with my eating habits and doing it. And I walk the walk. Like, I still train. I do all these wee things. So I think, see, as long as your coach or the person that you're investing in does the things, even if they want to be a little bit heavier, that's up to them.
But body fat percentage isn't the thing, though. That's not
totally.
No. That's because that's a misconception. Because you're dick skin lean, you're automatically a good coach.
Yep.
That's just not. That's not it.
No.
That really, really isn't it. And it's like you said, fucking being in the back row playing rugby, you need to be a little bit heavier. Like, you can't be cutting about.
I've lost 18 kilos.
What?
I know.
You were 18 kilos heavier than you are now?
18 kilos heavier than I am just now.
Damn, boy, he's a thick ass dog.
And obviously, see, because we weren't playing for COVID, so I was a big boy, right? and then but I was strong as well. COVID happened, doing workouts in my living room for folk and all that, and just loads of walking. 18 kilos down, started playing rugby, and I was getting boshed. I was getting bitched. And, so I had to change how I played.
That's why I've always got black eyes every Sunday.
I've had like 5 black eyes this season. I know, contact sport and that. I mean,
I know. But no, that's some good points there. What do we think about that?
That was good. That was
Yeah.
good.
We've missed something actually.
Are you going to do
I
yours?
forgot
Do
about that. I'll do mine actually.
do yours. Just do one.
No, we'll do a couple. We'll do
how
them.
are we for time?
No, we've been running for maybe 40 minutes or something.
Nah, save it.
Right. Next week's episode, we are going to cover. You'll need to tune in. But no, I like that, boys. That was a nice
That was
week of
good.
informal chat. Sorry if the only thing you got from this was poop stories and our thoughts about fucking fitness influencers. But hey, next week we can maybe try and bring a little bit more value. But I've been your host. I'll see you next week.
Ciao.
Cheerio.
I flew in, man.